Welcome to the NoOffice podcast. My name is Rafał and I'm VP of Product at Nozbe. In our company, we believe that work is not a place to go. It is a thing that you do. That's why since 2007, we have been running our company 100% remotely. In Nozbe, we work at NoOffice. The NoOffice podcast is sponsored by Nozbe Teams, a to-do app that helps modern teams do great things. Go to nozbe.com to learn more.
Don't cram 20 people on Zoom.
Fluorescent lighted office all day long. You probably are going to work from home.
Hello and welcome in the 7th episode of NoOffice podcast. As always, I'm joined by CEO and founder of Nozbe, Michael Sliwinski. Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm good, but at the moment of the recording, we're still waiting for the U.S. elections to finish, and it's kind of hard to focus if these elections are make the whole world at stake. So I'm hoping that the current president will no longer be the president of the United States, because I don't like liars and stuff. So hopefully there will be good news by the time this episode ships. By the time this episode ships, we should know the official results. So fingers crossed.
Exactly. But so today we want to talk about the pyramid of communication, the way we do the communication in NoOffice team. But before that, let's jump into our Geek Segment, as I can call it. So tell me, Michael, how many times have you already changed your mind about iPhone 12 model to buy?
Yeah. So just as an explainer, I buy a new iPhone every year just because this is a thing I do. Some people do other things. This is what I do. I don't spend money on clothes and stuff that much, but I spend money on new iPhone every year. But because in our industry and in our team, there's always somebody who wants my 1-year-old iPhone. So I always sell my old iPhone and I buy a new one. It's a thing I do. So this year, I naturally wanted to buy the same thing, but better. So I have an iPhone 11 Pro. I wanted to buy an iPhone 12 Pro, especially in this new blue color, Pacific blue. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But then I realized Apple released something really cool, a small iPhone 12 mini. And recently I've been using and testing Nozbe Teams on the iPhone SE. So the very, the smallest iPhone that
the original iPhone.
Yes, the original.
The same form factor as iPhone 5 and 5S.
Yes. This is the smallest iPhone that still has iOS 14. So still runs Nozbe Teams. So I have this small iPhone just to make sure that whenever we ship a new feature for Nozbe Teams, I can check it on a small phone that it works correctly and you can actually use it. So I was playing with it. I was like, this is so nice. It's such a small, nice phone. And, I'm a small person with small hands. So for me, it was just a nice thing that you can carry with you. And it's so light. And then I realized that this year, the iPhone 12 mini is almost the same size as the original iPhone SE, a little bit bigger. And it has the full screen. And it has almost no drawbacks because it has OLED screen. So the same one as on the iPhone 12 Pro. It has the same cameras, just not the telephoto. But apart from that, it has the same cameras as the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. It weighs 30% less, and the size is just perfect for my hands. So in the end, I just I was weighing pros and cons, and in the end, I canceled my iPhone 12 Pro order. I'm getting the black iPhone 12 mini. And you know why black?
Because Black Lives Matter.
Also, because Black Lives Matter. Very cool, very cool. I like your segue here. But anyway, also because I remember when I had the iPhone 7 Plus in jet black. And it was this glossy black, which was really cool. It was really cool to hold. It was really nice. And these new colors for iPhone 12, the new black reminds me of the jet black. So I'm getting the iPhone 12 mini. I'm going to use it caseless, so without any case. Mm-hmm. at least initially. I'll start and I'll see how long I can last like this. Like Mujo has, we always use Mujo. I mean, I always use Mujo cases. So in Mujo has a case for that. So in case I really need in case I need a case, there is a case for me. But I'll try to use it completely naked, just caseless. I'm going to slap the wallet on the back of it with my driver's license inside and a spare credit card, and that's it. So with that, I have my wallet and my phone as minimalistic as can be. So okay. I can't wait.
So have you checked how many photos do you shoot on your 11 Pro with the telephoto lens?
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know?
I don't want to know how much I'm missing this. The cool thing about this, again, the telephoto lens on the 12 Pro is the same as it is on the 11 Pro. It's exactly the same lens.
Yeah.
With the same aperture. So the same light stuff. But the main lens on both, on all of these iPhone 12 phones, including the Pro, has 1.6 aperture from 1.8. So it's better than on 11 Pro. So what it means is that actually, if I do a digital zoom of two times on the iPhone 12, I probably will still shoot a better photo because of lots of light and better compression algorithm of the A14. So I don't think I'm missing much. I will compare the telephoto photo of the same thing on the iPhone 12 mini when it arrives and on my iPhone 11 Pro just to make sure. But probably, and because very often this is what happened when you would shoot telephoto, even though you would think you would use a telephoto, in the end the iPhone would choose the photo from the main lens, but just cropped and digitally zoomed.
Yeah, I have the same observation on my iPhone 10.
Mm-hmm.
So when I shoot, I want to shoot a 2x zoom or more. Only when I have the perfect lighting condition, it uses the telephoto.
Exactly.
When the lighting conditions are bad, it very often chooses to use the regular lens.
Exactly, and the regular lens will be much better, right?
Yeah. Plus you got the upgrade to the CPU,
exactly
which actually makes a bigger difference.
in photography
than
the lens.
than this the small differences between lenses.
Yeah, because look, again, all iPhone 12 models will have a dark mode on all of the lenses. So you can shoot ultra wide dark mode, normal wide dark mode, and also selfie dark mode. So it's and dark mode I've been using a lot. I really like dark mode on the iPhone 11 Pro. It's you are switching from
a night mode.
Sorry,
night mode.
dark mode, of course.
It's good. Yeah, because dark mode is of the UI.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm dark mode anyway, on my phones and on my computers. But night mode, yes. So night mode is amazing. Because you have iPhone 10 still, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
3 years phone.
Exactly. So and for the last 3 years. So now you're switching to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, right?
Yep.
So you will have
tomorrow.
Really good.
I will order that old one. Yeah.
Yes. So you will have amazing photography. That's for sure. Because it's even better on the Max than on the regular Pro, which is another reason for me not to get the Pro, because I wouldn't get the Max because it's just too big for me. So I wouldn't get this significant upgrade of photography anyway. But I'm telling you, man, once when you get the phone, you'll see how much you will use night mode. It's like so many times I just could shoot a very cool picture in the dark because of the night mode. It was just mind blowing. And I have a few portraits that I did of my wife and my girls in night mode, and they just look stunning. It's just so good. This is a game changer.
So you are shooting portraits in the night mode. So
yes.
the LiDAR scanner on the Pro model makes it better. Yeah.
It is. I checked one of the videos that I checked. It shows that it's a little bit better than the LiDAR scanner. It's faster and it's better. Yeah. So this is again something I'm missing. So it's a risk. I wanna I will not change my mind for now. I will get the mini.
Yeah, because you change the iPhone every year, so you can sacrifice 1 year to do this experiment and choose the mini one.
Precisely my point. Like for a year, I can, endure the small iPhone and see if this is something I like, if this is something I really care about, and if this is such a significant improvement for me, that offsets all the drawbacks. So, if this experiment goes bad, well, next year I'm going to get the 13 Pro thing, whatever.
And speaking of this portrait photos and LiDAR sensor, I saw the video that compared the portrait mode in 12 and 12 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot the portrait photo of the iPhone case.
Yeah, I saw that video as well. Yeah, then you could see the difference that the LiDAR was more precise.
Yeah, the LiDAR. So the things that supposed to be sharp are sharp on this photo. Yeah. The thin boundaries between the hole for the cameras and the edges of the case. So basically LiDAR would make portrait photos much better, but still not perfect.
Exactly.
Like that. The very interesting thing is that Google Pixel smartphones make portrait photos better because they don't use optics as much as they use machine learning on the device after shooting the photo. To make this portrait and makes the all the details, which even thin parts of the photos that's supposed to be sharp are sharp.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's why I'm also hoping that also with software improvements, the portrait mode will get better, even despite having the LiDAR. Like this gives me hope that a Pixel phone without any LiDAR scanner can do very nice portrait photos. And I'm shooting lots of portrait photos. So like all of my girls, like all the time, like I have 3 daughters and a wife. Like I have 4 beautiful women in my home. So I shoot photos, portrait photos of them all the time, and especially as they grow, it's amazing to see the change. So this is another reason why I get iPhone every year, because I just want to have better photos every year, because my girls are growing so quickly that, I would like to have the best camera I can to take the best photos I can.
Yeah. Okay. So that will be interesting to see when you get the mini, if you miss this improvements to portrait photos.
Exactly. We'll see that.
Yeah. Okay. So you are planning to use your iPhone 12 mini caseless, so without any case. Yeah, I want to use the case. However, all the majority of the cases that they produce to new iPhones are covering the bottom edge of the phone. Yeah,
I heard.
Which is not the case with iPhone 10 and so on. And I'm afraid it will interfere with the switching up gesture.
Okay.
Slide right, left, right to quickly switch apps, and I use it a lot. And the one case that doesn't cover this bottom edge is this ugly clear case. Yeah, and I don't know what to do right now, which case to order. But I guess we will see. However, the other company which I really love is Peak Design. I have back from by Peak Design, and I just love it. Started this Kickstarter campaign on their mobile accessories for smartphones. And they have this system with magnets. They started it before the MagSafe was announced, but they will do it the way it will be MagSafe compatible. And I'm sure they are capable of doing it because the quality of the products is always at the highest level, and I can't wait. I'm 99% sure I will buy this set of accessories from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it will ship if everything goes okay. It will ship in May 2021. So. Yeah.
You have to be patient.
Yeah, but they are awesome because they connect the power of magnets and with some clever physical connection. to all the car mounts, bike mounts, wall mounts, chargers, and so on. So it's so it will be more secure than a MagSafe.
Yeah, so that's cool. Getting back to my wallet situation. So I just want to wrap it up with my wallet situation. So I've had a minimalist wallet for years now. You know that I haven't had a wallet for years. I was always carrying everything with my phone. So I minimized everything. I use Apple Pay for everything and actually pay with my watch. So it's even, nicer than this. But I just keep one credit card with me, one physical credit card, just in case.
Yeah.
One bill of 50 euros or 100 zloty, depending where I am, always in the case, and my driver's license. I don't carry my ID because driver's license is usually respected as an ID, so it's fine. So this way, and especially when I travel between countries, I need to have my driver's license at all times with me. I carry only these 3 items. That's it. If a membership card, for example, for anything that I use doesn't support a photo membership, like I cannot photo the card, I cancel my membership. I just refuse to use physical cards for anything. Yeah. Even my private insurance, health insurance that requires a card, I just show them the photo of the card and I tell them to punch in the numbers. I don't care. Like I'm not carrying the card with me. Just for their convenience, they can punch in the numbers, no problem. So there are 2 options for me, actually. One is this new MagSafe wallet that Apple announced, and I think I'm going to try it. Although I saw some videos that can just, very quickly, get off. The magnet is not strong enough.
The magnets hold it against the orthogonal force.
Uh-huh.
If you just slide it, the magnets don't hold it that way very strongly, yeah. So, but I think with a mini, it will be easy to put it in the pocket in the way that it wouldn't slide off.
I think so. That's why I'm going to try it. And again, I'm going to try it because I'm a geek and because this is a new thing. So I'm going to try it.
Yeah,
anyway. But
for sure.
But for our listeners, there is another option which I really like, and I use it on my iPhone SE. Actually, this is the Sinji pouch. It's $10 on Amazon. It's a small wallet thing that you just glue on the phone. It has adhesive, so you just glue it on the phone. And I use it for my iPhone SE, and it's glorious. Like it can hold the cards, no problem. It stretches, so it can hold even 4 or 5 cards if you really need to hold more cards. And it's glued in, so there is no way for it to peel off. And it's very, very thin, and it also makes the iPhone more grippable from the back. So I use it with my iPhone SE, and it's really good. So I bought it also for my new iPhone Mini, just in case the other one doesn't meet my spec. But again, it's $10. It's really cheap. Or $12, I don't know, but it's very, very cheap, but very good quality. I've used a few of these on my other iPhones, and on my mom has one on her iPhone, and she really loves it. So it's really a cool thing.
Yeah, so that's the cheap option.
Yep.
We'll see. Okay, so I think that's it for our geek segment, and maybe let's jump to our main topic today, which is the pyramid of communication. So the original blog post about it is, I think, from 2016.
Yeah, but the whole original concept is from the podcast, from episode, 40-something or earlier. We have to link to the podcast episode where we started talking about
the podcast FM, yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about it because actually kind of Radek from the podcast, I think he's the originator of the idea. He hates the idea that I call it pyramid of communication instead of just, he called it hierarchy of communication. I prefer to call it pyramid of communication.
But we don't do hierarchies in our company.
Exactly. Hierarchy is not a word I use very happily because I don't like this in my company. I prefer to treat my employees as partners in crime instead of my inferiors or superiors or whatever. I hate that. And also, we always hated the hierarchy of projects in Nozbe. Like there's no hierarchy. That projects are projects. So that's why this word doesn't go with me. But pyramid is really cool because it explains also, and we'll get to that, the amount of each level. Like it explains in a visual way amount of each step of the pyramid, how much you should use it. It's like this pyramid of needs of Maslow, right? Like, like you have the most needs for like the basic needs, and then, more and then like less of that, but different kind of. So I think the word pyramid, even though Radek hates it, I love it. I think it perfectly describes what we're trying to convey here.
Yeah, I love it too. So at the lowest level, so the biggest chunk of the pyramid, the foundation.
Yes.
And the foundation for communication is deep work. But in deep work, you don't communicate. So why is that?
Exactly. That's a good one. So the most important thing, if you have a job to do, is actually to do your job. Like that's the most important thing. And then you communicate with your team later. But first, do your job. Like, do what you are hired to do. And I think many companies and many teams get that wrong. Like, it's not about, hanging out together, having meetings and having brainstorming sessions. No, it's about, like, you hire brilliant people, leave them alone and let them work. Let them do the magic. So why it's a part of our pyramid of communication? Why is it a communication? Because, as you know, especially in our all-remote team, where we cannot, go to an office and show and be like show off the way we look or the way we dress or whatever. You communicate proficiency by doing great work. That's why, for me, this part of communication, because you don't well with that you communicate only to yourself and then and deliver work. But with that work, when it goes up in the pyramid, this is how you communicate your proficiency. This is how you communicate that you're great, that you're doing good work. And as you know, especially in an all-remote team and on a NoOffice team, you respect your peers when they do great work. Like, my favorite people on my team are the ones that are doing really amazing work, because like I don't know them that well, because we don't hang out. But from their work, I'm like, these guys are great, and I just like them because they're doing great work.
So you must spend the majority, maybe not majority, but a lot of chunk of your work time on doing a deep work. So working on your task in focus, so you can produce something, and then this is what you are talking about with your peers, with your colleagues in the job. Because this is the foundation. You need some feedback to finish this task, but you already did something in your deep work, prepared something for the feedback for the team.
Yes, you cannot stress it enough that if you're a manager, your main job to manage your team is to leave them alone and defend their time. Like, you should be the one, putting a wall in front of your team so that nobody interrupts them. You should be the one, canceling the unnecessary meetings, making sure that your people are well fed, have everything to drink, and just do their work, because you hired them to do their work. So like it's like lots of managers think that their job is to talk to the people and to interrupt them and to ask them for status updates and all that stuff. No, this is BS.
Yeah.
The manager should be guarding people's time.
Yeah, I would say even more. The manager should do their focus work on the process, how to protect their team from these disruptions. For example, I'm spending my deep work time on improving our process, how our developers work, so they have uninterrupted times, even from Michael's brilliant random ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, and because you are the CEO, this is natural that they feel obligated to respond to you as quick as possible, even during their deep work time. So the first advice to do the good deep work is to don't let others destroy it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So plan when you do your deep work session. Just turn off the communication channels, turn off notifications, don't answer phones, call back later, because that may be important. Just make sure that other people you communicate with, not only colleagues in the work, but your family, friends, understands that you are not the person who will answer the phone right away, reply to messages right away. But it's important that they can count on you. So always call back to them, always reply to messages, but not right away. Just you need to focus now on your work. And when you're done with your work, just deal with other stuff.
And again, this is really important. So it's another aspect why it's part of a communication pyramid, because you have to communicate when you're doing deep work.
Yeah.
So very often it's what I do, and we are just right, like, a little bit late, but we're after our quarterly reviews, and we are and one of the things I will communicate, and I'm communicating to everyone on my team, is when I have my deep work sessions. So this way people also know, okay, between these hours, normally on a typical day, Michael is busy doing his deep work. So if I send Michael a message, he will reply to me, but later, like after this, right? So, and this way I communicate expectations. So people know that, for example, between 10 and 12, I'm writing the book, the NoOffice book. So between 10 and 12, on a typical day, don't expect any response from me. After 12, I will respond to you. But, you have to wait.
Yeah.
So, and then, for example, between 1 and 3, I have most of my meetings. So, meetings should be scheduled in that time. And then after 4, from 4 to 6, for example, I have my core hours. So again, my 2 hours of deep work on the Nozbe stuff. So this way, when I communicate this to the whole team, people know what to expect. People know when they can, get me. And so that's really important. You should communicate that, because of course, in the beginning, people will still interrupt you, but after because habits, but after some time, they will learn, okay, I'll just get back to him later, no problem. So it's really crucial to communicate when you are planning to do your work, so that people will just leave you alone.
Yeah. So that's the heart of asynchronous communication.
Yes.
So and this deep work focus, and to not letting others to destroy it for you. This is one of the reasons why we designed priority view in Nozbe Teams, in that way that no one can put things in your priorities. Only you can mark a task with a star. So that's the different from the Nozbe Personal. Because we learned that this is so we make this priority view is perfect when you do the deep work. But I think that every day, every work day, you should do at least both pieces of our pyramid. The 2 most important pieces. So one is deep work, and second is feedback, asynchronous feedback loops. So you want to make sure that you have time scheduled for your deep work, but you also have time to get back to people, to respond to their task in the comments, to just give them feedback about their work, and so on. Because if you don't do that, then if you focus like 2-3 days on the deep work, the stuff you are a blocker or you need to take care of would grow exponentially.
Yeah, it will pile up.
Yeah, would pile up, and it will destroy all your process, all your productivity.
Yeah, because, you're not alone. Like when you work in a team, you have to get back to people. But again, as you said, it's really important to schedule time for feedback, because very often, if somebody delivers their work, they expect good feedback from you. They don't expect just a short comment. Yeah, great work. No, they expect more. They've poured their heart in, they've prepared something, and they expect that you spend at least a few minutes really reading it through and thinking about it. So in our team, this is really important. Like, for example, I have this quality support meeting like every other Wednesday with the support team, and they prepare a report on Tuesday, so one day before.
Yeah,
and they expect me to show up on the meeting having read the report at least once. So I and with some comments already. So I really need to take my time, and it usually takes me like half an hour to an hour really to read the report thoroughly and really think, what I want to respond, just take my time to really, because, they've worked so much on this report. It would be really, it wouldn't be nice. It would be just kind of dismissive.
It would be wasteful to not to read it before the meeting, because that way the meeting would take much longer time, and it would waste all the time of all the people that participate in the meeting.
Yeah. We'll get to meetings a little bit later, but this is the funny part about meetings in our company, and people have to get used to it, especially new hires, that when there is a meeting, we have a clear agenda before the meeting, and we have the documents prepared before the meeting, just like the one that I mentioned for the QS. And because of that, when we start the meeting, nobody's referring, or presenting an idea. Everybody has read the ideas.
Yeah.
The meeting is only about the nuances of these ideas. So very often, like the new person on the team, like they have the bad habits from other companies. So they are like, so I would like to present this idea. No. We would just interrupt them and we said, no. We read the idea. We understand the idea. So we have questions. So it's like, okay. It's a different situation.
Yeah. And many times it's like that we post the idea, the document about the new feature, etc. And we just get feedback for this in Dropbox paper comments or in Nozbe Teams comments.
Yes.
And we just and after that we decide that we don't need to talk about it in the meeting because we just did all the feedback asynchronously.
Yes.
And we know what to do next.
Exactly. So the feedback is really important. And for the feedback, you should really use modern tools. We mentioned already, Nozbe Teams, where you can have tasks and comments, and you can asynchronously post comments without rushing people into responding. But not only our app, Nozbe Teams, but also when you, for example, write a longer document, it would be really useful to be able to comment on a paragraph or comment on a sentence. So you can use Google Docs or Dropbox Paper, apps like this, because this way you can really comment on particular things, particular ideas in the project, like in the proposal, for example, without just commenting on the whole proposal, but just comment on some nuances. So really, right now, we're especially in this pandemic when many people work from home, but it's long overdue. People should be using tools like this to be able to asynchronously to just comment on things, comment on tasks, and also comment on paragraphs in documents. Yeah. This is like a 101. Like everyone listening to this show should be using tools like this.
Yeah, and so in Nozbe Teams we have this incoming view that our app just gives you all the tasks that you are directly involved. So they probably needs your feedback or they need to be planned for your priority for the deep work session. Yeah. So this is my favorite view because that way I work. As a VP of product, I work with support, with marketing, and with dev guys and design. So I work with a lot of people. So many times I need to give even short feedback to many tasks. And with incoming, I have them in the one place, so I can always 2-3 times per day check it and give people feedback, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's correct. So then we go to so as again, this is a pyramid because like the most time you should spend, the base of the pyramid on the deep work. Then a little bit less time, but still lots of time you should spend on the feedback because you should really give good feedback to your team if you want them to perform well. And if also you want your team to give you good feedback. It works both ways, And then there's the third part, again, smaller than this. This is a real-time chat. So it's like Slack and stuff, right?
Yeah. So we use Slack sometimes to just jump on the chat and figure out some details, but only when it's needed, when it's really urgent and we need it right now. So it's not like we can wait for someone to give us a feedback. For example, we had this idea to ship those icons to Nozbe Teams apps.
Yeah.
Mobile apps. Yeah. It was like kind of real-time marketing. So we needed fast to make it fast. And yeah, Slack was a good tool for this purpose.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, the problem and the solution. So people think that Slack is good for both the feedback and the real-time chat. and it's not. It's good for real-time chat. For feedback, you need something asynchronous. So you need something less urgent. You need to put like a thorough comment and give people time to digest it. In Slack, there is no time. In Slack, it's really fast. So, but it's still written, which is great because you can still refer to it later. So that's why it's really important to understand the difference between real-time chat and good quality feedback. That's why, spoiler alert, very soon we'll have a Slack integration for Nozbe Teams. This way, when you chat on Slack and you see that this idea is really good, but it should be a task and you should comment on it, more thoroughly, you'll be able to convert a conversation in Slack into a task with a comment. So we're working on that right now, and it's coming very soon.
Yeah.
And I have your permission to spoil it because it's really on the last stages of implementation.
We just figure out what Michael can tease.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it's already visible on our Dogfooding, more on Dogfooding, you can listen in our third or fourth episode. We will link in the show notes.
Yes.
So if he can see it on Dogfooding, then he can tease it.
Exactly. So if I'm already using a feature in Nozbe Teams that is still enabled only for us, but not for the rest of the world, I can already tease and say it's coming because it is very soon coming. It's just a question of a few weeks to really test it, iron it out, iron all the kinks. Yeah. So our process, as we mentioned in the episode that we're going to link to, is that we use the feature very early to get the feel of the feature. And then we take a few weeks to iron out the details and ship the first good version of the feature to the production, so to everyone else. That's why we are already using Slack integration for Nozbe Teams, and it works really good. But still, there are a few things that we have to iron out. But that's why I'm saying we are one of the reasons we are doing Slack integration is because we want to teach people that there is a big difference between commenting real time and commenting and giving good feedback. And we want people to, when there is good feedback, to be able to move it nicely, in a nice way to Nozbe Teams where it belongs instead of having it in the chat.
And a couple of tips regarding Slack. So what I did, I turned off all the notifications from Slack. Turn off all the badges, so when I'm working on my Mac, I don't see any red dots if there are new messages. And I use this Quitter app from Marco Almond. So you can set it up that, for example, if you don't use the particular app for 10 minutes, it will quit it for you. So so it will be harder to get back to Slack and just read all the memes and inside jokes.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would say this is the middle of the pyramid, the third level, which should be, I think, optional for everyday work. Like every day, I think you should do the deep work and feedback loops.
Yes.
The chat and all the above levels in the pyramid should be optional for your everyday work. However, once per couple of days, it's good to use them as well.
Exactly. So we have level 1, deep work. The most time you should spend most time of your work in deep work, and then second, feedback. So you should spend really second most time on that. And this is what you should be mostly working on. This is called real work. And as you know, work is not a place to go; it's a thing that you do, and this is what you do. And then 3, this is the real-time chat, which is useful, as you said, but optional, but is useful because when you exchange information with your team or with anyone else through written form, you can refer to it back later without interrupting them. You can get back to a conversation that you had before, which is really useful. But we are human beings. We are flawed species. We still need to talk to each other, and this is the fourth level. This is where you have a one-on-one chat with somebody. I mean, audio or video, or real-time conversation with somebody. And because if you do the first 3 levels well, you hardly ever need to talk to somebody one-on-one to just explain things to them or whatever. But you do sometimes need them.
Yeah, we often do those meetings one-on-one on group meetings, even for the reasons just to see each other.
Yes.
because as we work without Office, the 100% remotely, so it is nice to someone see your faces.
Exactly, and it's just nice to just talk to somebody, just to hang out, have coffee together like we do, recording the podcast. But it's just nice to talk. And for example, what I do is as the CEO, I have every quarter I talk to you and other directors one-on-one. But also, what I do is I have a list of other people on the team, and I have a reminder every half a year to talk to them. Just talk to them. So my pro tip is to have a task with the name of the person, like a reminder for the next, in a half a year at least I should talk to them, and then in the comments of this task I put notes from the last conversation. So this way I can follow up on things, from them. So very often I put also names, for example, of their spouses, names of their kids. This way I remember them, and like it's really nice. No, but it's just, then I can refer to my previous conversation. I can ask them, hey, how is your wife? She recently, she changed jobs, and how is the new job? And they're like, whoa, he remembers. I remember because I have it written down. But it's cool. This way I get to know people on my team. So I had to really, again, communication. I had to communicate to my team, guys, if out of the blue, me, the CEO, writes to you, hey, can we talk? I'm not going to fire you. This is an invitation to a chat, to an individual talk. It's not about firing you or whatever. So don't be scared if out of the blue I write to you. But also what I realized, speaking of this, level of pyramid of communication, is that because, as you mentioned, I am also involved with the design process of Nozbe Teams. So sometimes I am, quote unquote, a designer on one of the features, right? Yeah. So with that, I also every now and then ask for 15-minute or half an hour one-on-one call with the developer. So this way we can quickly run through the details. I can explain them some nuances of the feature, and it's more efficient because in this half an hour we just talk the nuances, the really nitty-gritty. And also we create this bond that we just chatted, we talked. So I cater to the human side. We work together on this, and also, we iron out the details. So, but again, I don't use it much, but every now and then I like to do it. So this way I can randomly, stay in touch with people.
Yeah, that's nice. And when you are a designer on some feature and you need the developer will be responsible to implementing it, it's very good practice to just make sure that you both are on the same page before you start working on this together.
Yes.
So you both understand what to build.
Yeah, but again, I catch myself that very often I don't need to talk. I can just write a good comment and they will understand. There is no need to talk really. But sometimes when I see, for example, that in the comments we're not agreeing 100%, there is some misunderstanding, I prefer to schedule a call. We talk about it and then it's done. Then it's just easy. So because as you know, written form is good. It's the default. That should be the default. But sometimes there are just some nuances.
It's not always enough.
Exactly. That you just need to.
But in many cases it is. Yeah.
But in many cases, in majority, 80% or more is enough. But there is this 20% that needs to have this interaction, which is good. Which, as you said, is a good team building exercise. And this is one of the reasons. Me, as the CEO of an all remote company, I don't feel alone in my home office because I have enough meetings or one-on-one calls in a week. Not too many, but enough that I don't feel alone. I feel like I work in a team,
Me, actually, as well. I have meetings almost every day, but only short ones. But it's I think a good amount.
Yeah, good balance. So let's talk about meetings. This is the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
At the top of the pyramid are meetings and meetings. That's why it's top of the pyramid. You should have little meetings, small meetings, short meetings, a few meetings,
in a small groups, not 20 people.
Exactly. This is the most important thing. We just discussed the other day that there is, for example, one person who wants to join us on one of the meetings. And we're discussing it internally, whether we should let them. Because we're thinking, yeah, we can let them, like a normal, company. Come on, join our meeting, that's everybody. But no, we are really very strict about it. We want to make sure that we have the right number of people on the meeting, not too many, but also not too little, but enough. Because if we expand meetings, because, then it becomes the status thing. I'm part of this meeting. Okay, so I want to be part of this meeting as well. And then suddenly from 5 people, we suddenly have 10 people on the same meeting. Like it doesn't make any sense. So it's really important that you control this. And what I also argue in my book, NoOffice, that the meetings should be optional and they should be regular. Like what I like about our meetings is they're regular weekly meetings. Like at the same time, the same Zoom channel, the same group of people every week, but optional. Like if we decide we don't need this week's meeting, we cancel it and we don't reschedule it because we know next week we can meet again. So there is no need to reschedule and think about other time we can do it. No. Like we just decide this week's meeting is canceled because we don't need it. We don't have agenda. We don't have time, or we have lots of work to do. So we cancel this week's meeting, but there is another one coming in a week. So there is no problem. Some things that, are not urgent, but need, talking about, we can talk about them next week. No harm.
Yep. And another important thing about those meetings we have is to, after the meeting, write things down in a task in Nozbe Teams. So you can give opportunity for the second level of pyramid, feedback loops, for the rest of the team who didn't participate in the meeting. So they can give their feedback to the stuff we talked about during the meeting, our conclusions.
Yes. So this is really important. Like on our design meeting, the CTO is not there. Just think about it. The CTO is not on our design meeting. So, of course, it's like, he should be there. I mean, he's the CTO, right? You should invite them, right?
Yeah.
No, but our CTO is busy. Like, he has things to do. But what we require from him, especially, is to give us feedback on the agenda items before the meeting. So we want his feedback on the agenda items already because he's the wisest of us all. And after the meeting, we also want him to give us feedback on the particular features that we're designing, to make sure that, again, that we are in check. So we prefer his, not waste his time on the meeting, but have his feedback before or after. And this is the same thing that happened to Radek recently. Radek, the podcast co-host, he recently, we stopped recording the podcast, which hopefully we will get back to later this month. But he decided not to record the podcast and also not to participate in our design meeting anymore because he's busy with other stuff. But he gives good feedback before the meeting and after the meeting. So we know he's there for us. Yeah. He's just not there on the discussion. But before the discussion and after the discussion, he's there to give us his take, which is really important because we really value his opinion. So this way, when you write things down before the meeting very well, and so prepare the meeting very well, and then later after the meeting, you can get feedback from people who were not at the meeting but are just smart people, and you should use their smarts.
Yeah. So that's our pyramid of communication, and I think we can wrap up this episode.
So let's just repeat the why it's a pyramid. Like, why is it like this? So deep work is where you should be spending most of your time. Then feedback loops. Just give good feedback to other people, receive good feedback from other people. So and use asynchronous comments. So use comments, use software that lets you put comments on things, comments on tasks, comments on paragraphs. Use software like this. And
make sure that every day you do deep work and this feedback loops, because these are most important.
Because you don't want people, be a blocker, as you said. You don't want people blocking people's, forward motion. You want everyone to move forward, and with the feedback, with good feedback, they can move forward faster. Because very often there are the situations where you give feedback too late, and it's distracting everyone.
Yeah, it's already shipped.
Exactly. So again, and then number 3 is the real-time chat. And you should learn to use real-time chat for good reason and put everything else in the comments in not so real time. And then one-on-one meetings, and then meetings with a group of people. So this is like our pyramid of communication.
Yep. So thank you guys for listening. And remember, today is Friday, so make it a mighty Friday. Do your weekly review, learn something new, and have a great weekend. If you have any questions for us or want to share your NoOffice story related to this episode, please leave a comment under this episode entry at nooffice.fm/7, where 7 stands for this episode number. Or you can always leave a comment on Twitter with #NoOffice. And as we are still getting started with this podcast, it would mean a lot of us and help us if you could share it with just one friend, one coworker, etc. So just share it with one person you think this podcast may be valuable for. Or you can always leave us a review in Apple Podcasts. It's always appreciated. So say goodbye, Michael.
Okay, thank you so much. We really count on these reviews and on you sharing this podcast because we have lots in store for you in this podcast, and especially now in this pandemic, we want to share our experience of running an all-remote team for the last 13 years. So please help us spread the word. Thank you so much, and have a great one. Don't cram 20 people on Zoom.
Fluorescent lighted office all day long. You probably are going to work from home.